come to the fourth market day of the week here on Frontier Opening Bell. Of course, across many jurisdictions, so it's the fourth day of the week, and we're just cruising along, with the exception of Cairo across Frontier Africa, which starts on Sunday. So today is going to be the final trading day for that market in North Africa. So what did we see? Wednesday, a very big jump, 1.27% to the upside, just as investors within the Egyptian market tried to rake up some gains before the start of the weekend in that big economy and markets. That took the 30,000 level of the EGX 30 a whole lot bigger. That's one of the biggest gain we saw across Africa on Wednesday, if you discount the bigger jump, about 6% that came through from the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. Let's take it from the top with the Nigerian market down roughly 1/10%. There's a balancing out of some gains in non-banking names. Then, of course, you've got a couple of big gains also in the in Dangote Sugar. Farm is lifting the consumer goods index. Then you've got some banking names such as UBA advancing ahead of top of 4% for the trading. Broadly speaking, the market was a little bit weak because folks went into the weekly treasury bills auction of the central bank, where the regulator sold about 167 billion naira and yields declining once again for the second week across those three tenored instruments, giving a signal that the central bank could be preparing the market for a rate cut, or at least sitting pat at its September 24 MPC decision. Keep that in mind. Market liquidity yesterday, a shortened as well on the back of that, folks going into the primary market. The secondary market for treasury bills and treasury bonds were also positive because yields also declined. So keep those things in mind as you look at Nigeria's interest rate decision in just about 2 weeks from now. The BRVM yesterday saw the listing of 2 sovereign bonds by the government of Burkina Faso. That was a very big listing. The market, however, broadly went down by 0.2%. The Nairobi stock market jumped up 0.38%, while the JSE was down 1%. The rest of the global developed and emerging markets were a little bit mixed on Wednesday. Let's take it down, take it up to East Africa. Let's check a few headlines. Kenya airports, truck problems still there. The JKIA, the deal with Adani, which gives the Indian company 30-year leasehold on the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to expand and make it more efficient and operational and whatever, and modernize it, is going through legal tussle right now, and some of the workers yesterday threw spanners in the works of this iconic hub in East Africa. In the meantime, Rwanda yesterday put a shovel on the ground to start the construction of what you know as Kigali Innovation Center. The multi-million-dollar structure would provide Rwanda what it needs to be an innovation and digital hub or innovation hub for the East African community, and as well stretching its tentacles across the entire African continent. If you're back on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, all listed companies will now have to provide a calendar of earnings releases, dividend payments, and so on. That's the new rule according to the Capital Markets Authority. In the meantime, the World Bank has approved $200 million for skills development in Rwanda, while Ethiopian Airlines is expanding its Pan-African footprints by opening a new window to the port of Sudan. And finally, Bamburi Cement, listed on the Nairobi stock market, has confirmed 25.4 billion shillings counter-offer from Savannah Clinker, and that's of Tanzania. And those are headlines east of the continent. Let's move it on to West Africa. Prepare for a rate cut. I said that earlier at the opening of the show. Yields are declining across the central bank primary market auction week after week. And that's a signaling that the central bank could be preparing everyone for an eventual rate cut, if not September, most likely in November, at least before the year runs out, with the U.S. central bank set to ease rate at least by 25 basis points next week, Tuesday. Keep that in mind. Jitco, the big financial supermarket, has reported first half earnings for 2024, showing profit of around 1 trillion naira, the first ever in any banking name in Nigeria. And Burkina Faso also has listed 2 of those sovereign bonds I mentioned earlier, roughly 120 $217 million. That's roughly 129 billion CFA franc on the BRVM. That's the Pan-African exchange based in Abidjan for all the French-speaking 8 countries in West Africa. And so South Africa's Holland International is says it's in talk to set up insurance business in Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, and that's stepping to the west coast of the continent. Liberia's pension sector is getting about $200 million technical support from the EFDB. Of course, the president, the 44-year-old new president, is finding it difficult right now to move on because, politically speaking, some of his reforms in the oil and gas and elsewhere, creating jobs and all of that's getting hobbled by the parliament, which is controlled majorly by the political party of the immediate past president, His Excellency Macky Sall. And in Ghana, the country's raised cocoa farmers pay by 45% as bank loans stall for those farmers. Let's touch on Southern Africa as we get ready for the African Energy Week taking place in Cape Town, South Africa in the first week, November 4 to 8. The head of the Afrexim Bank, Dr. Benedict Orama, has asked for what you call the reasonable and the practical energy transition for Africa. A similar soundbite coming from the APPEC, the APEC summit in Singapore, which enters another day today, asking that countries be allowed to do energy transition at their own pace and shouldn't be hurried. There's a lack of money, and that the energy transition steam is slowing down. Biggest banks in South Africa will start issuance of billions of rand in bonds in 2025, while South Africans have pulled a record $250 million out of their pension funds in just 10 days. Remember, President Ramaphosa eased the rules in which South Africans can dip their fingers into their pension accounts earlier than the regulations provided. The whole idea is to ease liquidity and provide some cash to hardworking South Africans. So why keep the cash in pension when you needed some of it today? So the president says, let's review the pension law, and allow folks to pick a little small amount of their pensions and use it today while they're still alive and working and all of that. So that's the whole idea. And folks just went in $250 million already out of the pension account. And Zesa Holdings Private Limited in Zimbabwe has announced a new 9-member board led by the current chairman, Dr. Gator. What else am I looking at this Thursday? Let me show you what's making the splash across the Northern African corridor. Egypt's finance ministry has launched a new wave of tourism initiative, 50 billion pounds, Egyptian pounds, by the way, was what Egypt is looking at to remain that competitive hub in Africa as far as tourism is concerned. In the meantime, the country's mortgage finance for housing projects is now worth about 74 billion Egyptian local currency. And Tunisian authorities have arrested 4 individuals after the state railway flies a Turkey flag mistakenly or in error. Tunisia's and EFDB have signed loans and donations worth about 90 million euros and 2.5 million US dollars. That's the latest report from the EFDB, marking the 68th anniversary this week. And finally, Libya is the next target for Turkey. Turkey says it's interested in the offer of offshore exploration in Libya, and it's also dipping its fingers into the gas industry in Egypt as well. And those are your headlines. Let's take it up from there tomorrow when we say Thank God Friday on Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosin Mafa. Do have a great day, everyone. Watch the show again online. And please remember to follow us on our social media. You can subscribe to all our videos. It's free on Frontier Africa Reports.